What happens when the greatest goal scorer of a generation is also its greatest playmaker? You get a milestone that might never be broken. At nearly 39 years old, Lionel Messi just became the fastest player in history to reach 900 career goals. But it is a hidden second stat, one that nobody's talking about loudly enough, that officially, permanently, and irrevocably separates him from Cristiano Ronaldo and from every other player in the history of football. Not the goals. The goals are extraordinary. But goals alone do not close this debate. The second stat does. And when you hear it, when you understand what it means and why no other player in the history of this sport even comes close, the GOAT debate does not just lean toward Messi. It ends. We are going to get to that stat. But first, we need to talk about the night itself. Because the moment Messi scored his 900th goal was also one of the most heartbreaking nights of his season. And that contrast, pure historic brilliance inside a night of bitter disappointment, tells you everything about where Messi is right now. Welcome to Cyberboot. If you're new here, subscribe immediately. March 18th, 2026, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Chase Stadium. Inter Miami, CF versus Nashville SC. The second leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, round of 16. The first leg had ended goalless. Everything was still to play for. And just 7 minutes into the match, Lionel Messi scored his 900th career goal. The delivery into the penalty area found him in space. What followed was pure Messi. The trademark shoulder drop to freeze the defender. The cut to his left to manufacture a pocket of space from nothing. A low-driven shot into the bottom far corner. Clinical, composed, inevitable. The 900th goal looked exactly like the first 100, exactly like the 500th, exactly like every goal he has ever scored. Because Messi's finishing has never been about power or chaos. It has always been about precision and intelligence. Goal number 900 in the record books, forever. But here is what made the night complicated. Because the 900th goal did not deliver the result. Nashville SC equalized later in the match. The game ended level, and because of the away goals rule, Nashville advanced to the quarterfinals. Inter Miami, despite Messi's historic moment, were eliminated. Think about that contrast for a moment. One of the most significant individual milestones in the history of football, scored on a night that ended in continental elimination. For most players, that kind of context would define how the milestone is remembered. But Messi has spent his entire career operating within this paradox. Individual brilliance that transcends the collective result. Moments so historically significant that they exist outside of the scoreline. The 900th goal will be remembered. The elimination will fade, because that is what happens when the moments are large enough. And now we need to talk about the number that matters even more than 900. Cristiano Ronaldo reached 900 career goals in September 2024. That is an astonishing achievement. An achievement that deserves every superlative it received. Ronaldo is one of the two greatest footballers in history. His goal record is real, his dedication is real, his longevity is extraordinary. But here's the stat that separates them. Messi has 900 career goals and more than 400 career assists. Let that combination settle for a moment. Not 900 goals as a striker, not 400 assists as a playmaker, both, simultaneously, from the same player in the same career. Ronaldo does not possess the same elite-level assist numbers. He is a ruthless, historic goal scorer, but his playmaking output does not match Messi's. And when you look at the historically great playmakers, the Kevin De Bruynes, the Xavis, the Iniesta-level creators, they carry the assist numbers but come nowhere near 900 goals. Messi exists in a category that has never existed before and will almost certainly never exist again. The greatest goal scorer and the greatest playmaker in the same body, in the same career. That dual threat capability is not just a stat. It is the entire argument, settled, permanently. I want to ask you something here, and I want a real answer in the comments. Do you think any player born today could realistically achieve both 900 goals and 400 assists in their career? Is that combination even physically and tactically possible in modern football? Drop your honest answer below. This is a debate worth having. Now let's talk about the pace at which Messi reached this milestone, because the record is not just about the number, it is about how quickly he got there. Messi scored his 900th goal in 1,142 official matches. Ronaldo took 1,236 official matches to reach the same milestone. That is 94 fewer games. 94 games. Think about what that means in real terms. Roughly 2 full seasons of football. 2 full seasons in which Messi was already at the milestone Ronaldo was still approaching. At a combined rate of roughly 30 to 35 matches per season, Messi was effectively 2 years ahead of the most prolific goal scorer in football history. Not marginally ahead, 2 full seasons ahead, and 672 of those 900 goals came during his era at FC Barcelona. 672 goals for one club. For European football fans who watched that Barcelona era unfold in real time, that number carries a weight that statistics alone cannot fully capture. The Champions League nights, the La Liga titles, the Copa del Rey finals. 672 goals across all of it. Here is something that comes up repeatedly in conversations about Messi at this stage of his career. The observation that he walks for roughly 80% of the game. Casual observers present this as a criticism, as evidence that he is slowing down, that the years are catching up, that the player who once pressed relentlessly and sprinted ceaselessly is gone. But tactical analysts understand something completely different. The walking is not a sign of decline. The walking is the genius. When Messi walks, he is scanning, he is processing the defensive structure of the opposition. He is identifying the blind spots, the gaps, the moments that are about to open. He is conserving his physical resources precisely so that when the moment arrives, when the space opens, when the pass comes, when the opportunity presents itself, his execution is at 100%. He has traded the relentless pressing of his youth for absolute mental domination of the game. Every sprint is calculated, every run is deliberate, every touch is the product of processing that happened during the minutes of apparent inactivity. This is not a player fading. This is a player who has evolved into the most efficient version of himself, doing less to achieve more, because the mind has outgrown the need for constant movement. In 2026 alone, across just 5 matches, he has already scored 4 goals in 5 matches, at nearly 39, walking 80% of the time. Let me ask you this, and leave your answer in the comments. Is the walking Messi of 2026 more or less dangerous than the pressing Messi of 2012? Now let's look forward, because the 2026 FIFA World Cup in North America is approaching rapidly. And Messi will enter that tournament not just as a 900-goal history maker. He will enter it as the defending world champion, the man who lifted the trophy in Qatar in 2022, the man who finally completed the only piece of the puzzle that had ever been missing, the man who, in his final World Cup, delivered the greatest individual tournament performance in the history of the competition. And now he gets to do it again, on home soil, effectively, in North America, in the country where he lives and plays his football, the defending champion, the greatest goal scorer in history, the greatest playmaker in history, turning 39 during the tournament. But crucially, he will not be carrying this Argentina team alone. Julian Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, both in exceptional form for their respective clubs, both capable of doing the relentless pressing and high-intensity running that allows Messi to operate in his genius walking mode. The structure is perfect. The support cast is in their prime. The defending champion is peaking at exactly the right moment. Argentina have won back-to-back Copa Americas and the World Cup. The pieces are aligned for something historic. And at the center of it, as he has been for 2 decades, is the man with 900 goals and 400 assists. Let's put 900 goals in proper historical context, because when a number becomes large enough, it starts to lose its meaning. 900 becomes abstract. It needs to be grounded. Messi scored his first professional goal as a teenager at Barcelona. He was 17 years old, the beginning of something that nobody could have fully anticipated. He then spent the next 2 decades doing things that had never been done. 8 Ballon d'Or awards, 4 Champions League titles with Barcelona, 10 La Liga titles, a World Cup, multiple Copa Americas, and through all of it, every manager, every tactical system, every era of his career, the goals kept coming. Not because he was playing as a traditional striker, not because the system was built around maximizing his goal output above all else, but because even while functioning as the primary creative force for his team, even while generating 400 assists for his teammates, he was still scoring at a rate that no pure striker in history has matched. 672 of the 900 at Barcelona alone. The remainder split between his time at Paris Saint-Germain, his return to the international stage with Argentina, and now his MLS chapter with Inter Miami. 900 goals across 5 clubs, across 3 countries, across 2 decades. Achieved faster than anyone who has ever played this sport. Here's the question nobody's asking loudly enough. Where does Messi stop? At nearly 39, still scoring at a rate of roughly 4 goals per 5 matches in 2026, the trajectory does not suggest an imminent decline. The body management, the walking genius approach, the mental domination, all of these suggest a player who has found a way to maintain elite output by evolving the nature of that output. He is not the same player who scored 91 goals in a calendar year. He is something different, something arguably more complete. A player who costs his team less in physical terms while still delivering more than anyone else in moments of genuine importance. The 2026 World Cup is the next chapter. And if Argentina, with Messi, Alvarez, and Martinez in form, make a deep run, the conversation about his legacy will move into territory that football has never explored before. 2 World Cup wins, as captain, as the decisive player in both tournaments. At 34 and at 39, that would not just be the greatest individual career in football history. It would be the greatest individual career in the history of team sport. So what is the verdict? 900 goals, 400 assists, the fastest player in history to reach the milestone, achieved 94 games faster than the only other player remotely in the conversation. The GOAT debate is not just won, it is finished. Not because Ronaldo's career was not extraordinary, it was, and it deserves every superlative it has received. But because the dual threat combination that Messi represents, the 900 goals and the 400 assists simultaneously from the same player, has no precedent in football history and almost certainly has no successor. The greatest goal scorer, the greatest playmaker, one player, one career. And at nearly 39, with a World Cup to defend, the story is not over yet. One final question before I let you go. And this one, I want your most honest, considered, detailed answer on. Do you believe Messi can help Argentina defend the World Cup title in 2026? And specifically, do you think the walking genius version of Messi, surrounded by Alvarez and Martinez doing the physical work, is actually more dangerous in a World Cup tournament environment than the pressing Messi of previous tournaments? Make your case in the comments. I will be reading every single response. Go back and forth with each other. This is the kind of debate the cyberboot community was built for. And if this video gave you something to think about, if the 900 plus 400 combination landed the way I hoped it would, then subscribing to Cyberboot right now is the most important thing you do today.